What up, squad? What's poppin'? Is you ready for another ROM rant? Alright, man. So, yo, 6ix9ine back at it again. 6ix9ine just ruined Steph Curry in one move with the crossover, arm in the hook. You heard? You know what I'm saying? Hey, we ballin' out here. We ballin' out here, man. So, peep it, right? This next video comes to you by the way of O'Shea Jackson. Go check it out. Link will be in the description below. If you're new to the channel, do not forget to comment, subscribe, thumbs up. Slap that red button, you heard? All right, man, let's see what 6ix9ine up to now, man. He like, yo, he doing everything, man. He going viral everywhere. He going viral everywhere. This is diabolical. Y'all don't want to miss this, man. Let's get right to it.
Polarizing. But it wasn't always like that. At first, Ayesha Curry was the kind of pick-me wife, staying at home, never wearing revealing clothes, and doing whatever she could to show Steph some respect. But ultimately, that did change. And it changed dramatically. We started to see Ayesha Curry go from being a big-time supporter of Steph to resenting him in real time.
Being mad disrespectful in front of his mom, in front of his family. She didn't care, man. Mad disrespectful. She over there want the attention of other men. Like, what kind of, like, are you serious, lady? Like, you don't get enough attention. Enough attention, the amount of attention that she's getting, that she's saturated in, and she wraps herself in. The fact that she needs more than that is just, yo, it's narcissistic. It's downright narcissistic, man.
In statements like this, or red flags.
The thing that really bothers me and like honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that, yeah, like there are all these women like throwing themselves, but me, like the past 10 years, like I don't have any of that. Like I have zero, this sounds weird, but like male attention.
So here you have a woman complaining that she doesn't get attention from other men, but she wants it. And then Kevin Samuels had to get on her.
She married a guy that she thinks she's better than, and honestly, she's jealous of him. She's jealous because I'm sitting at home, pumped out 3 kids, and he's on TV every day.
Wow, so so this must be old footage. I thought it was like new because I'm not really up to current events with that stuff, and I don't care about people's wives and basketball wives, and I don't watch that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into soap operas. I like a good one once in a while, but you know what I'm saying? The fact that Kevin Samuels was talking about this and bringing this out is wild, bro. This is wild. The fact that it's coming back up is even crazier, man.
He's getting all the fame. He's getting all the red carpet treatment. He's getting all this. And only time she gets attention is attention that he deflects to her. We wouldn't know about Ayesha Curry if it wasn't for Steph. He tries to put her in the spotlight. He tries to put her front and center. And guess what? If she had what it takes, she'd already be there. And that's what's not being told.
That's facts, bro. You know what I'm saying? If she had the personality, she would attract that. You know what I'm saying? She would attract the eyes. She would garner the, the audience and the yearning to actually see her. But the fact that she doesn't have any of that, and she's just one of these people that is just always boo-hoo type stuff. She doesn't bring anything to the table. You know what I'm saying? Anything of substance, anything that just, people just have it. You either have it or you don't. And she ain't got it. She ain't got it. That's why she's just Stephen Curry's wife. That's what we know her for. Well, I mean, we know her as Ayesha, but, Ayesha, remember that? ABC? ABC?
Woo! Now, Kevin always had the gift of bringing things out to the open that some of us wouldn't have thought about. And he says it very clearly. If she was really that chick, she would already be on, but she's not. And you're upset that you're not on. And then even now, as you've seen in the past with some of her interviews, she's talking about how she regrets being, a wife, a mother. She had other things that she wanted to do, and well,
it's healthy. It's healthy to, in front of a bunch of strangers in a public setting, to talk about how your husband just kind of doesn't get it and how it's much harder for you to not have been able to pursue your dreams that were literally only that. Dreams. Like there was nothing in your reality that looked like you were about to be in the trajectory of becoming a C-suite executive.
Please tell me this is sarcasm, y'all. Please tell me that this is sarcasm. Because there ain't nothing healthy about it. I mean, the fact that, it tells you what type of female she is, bro. She's going on call me daddy. Like, she want to be the daddy. She want to, like, we can't swap roles, honey. We can't swap roles. This shit don't work. It just don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Your husband might, he gives you a lot of grace, man. He gives you a lot of grace. The fact that he hadn't put his foot down, you know what I'm saying? He give you a lot of grace, man. He allowing you to flourish. He allowing you to grow. He allowing you to find yourself. And what I mean by him allowing is he's not bothered by it. He's like, oh, go ahead. Do you. Do you, sweetie. You know what I'm saying? He's like, do you, sweetie. But nah, that ain't good enough. And that's the problem, bro. That's the problem, man. You know what I mean? You got a gluttony. You got a gluttony for attention, man. You got a gluttony for attention. You know what I mean? Have you ever went to, you know what I mean? She's like one of them people, like when you go to the supermarket, like they say, don't ever go to the supermarket hungry. Because you buying everything in the aisles, bro. You just buying shit for random reasons, bro. You just buying mad shit that just don't make no sense that you ain't never going to eat. You just hungry. And that's how she is, man.
Executive.
Woo! Yeah, again, this is the problem with Ayesha Curry. She's acting as if she was going to be like this big time celebrity if she had not met Steph Curry. That's the issue. But hindsight is 2020, so it's easy to say that you would have done X, Y, and Z simply because you are rich. But really, if I wouldn't have went to Grant High School, I would have became the #1 point guard in the city of Sacramento.
Stop the cap.
But again, these things with Ayesha Curry kept coming about, and almost, it seems like almost every few months she goes on to some podcast and she's really, really disrespecting Steph Curry. And to Steph Curry's point, he's nothing like Ayesha Curry. He's very respectful. He never talks about her in a, devastating way or in a pejorative way, despite the fact that she does this. And this is what has caused so many women to question her.
But at this point, you're embarrassing him because it's like every interview you want to let it be known you're not happy. Then let somebody else marry him. Let somebody else live the lavish lifestyle. Let somebody else make him happy. What you thought was gonna happen marrying a basketball player? You thought he was gonna be home every single day? No, bro. That's what comes with the game. I would be meal prepping for that man, doing everything he gotta do. You on interviews talking about how, in other words, you're miserable. You act like you wanna go cheat.
Now, that's easier said than done, y'all, because, a lot of people, they get put into these situations and they, for some reason, they feel entitled to the fame. They feel entitled. They like, I'm the partner. I propped them up. I did this. Never made a meal. Like she said, I like Shorty's idea. You know what I'm saying? I like Shorty's idea. But, not a lot of people could be in shadows, bro. They don't like to be in the shadow. But it's like, again, what do you bring to the table, ma? What do you bring to the table, ma? Besides your fucking complaints, man. Besides your feelings. Besides your feelings. You know what it must be. You know what I'm saying? You just had a big game. You going crazy, and then you gotta go to your shorty and basically prop her up instead of her saying congratulations, great game. It's not a mutual thing. You gotta go over there and basically make sure she don't feel bad because of your successes. That's crazy. That must be exhausting. You know what I'm saying? That must be exhausting. That's like working overtime for no reason, bro. That's like it just bugged out to me.
Now, this lady is interesting because she's saying something that a lot of ladies think. Why don't you just leave the guy, let somebody else marry him, and take care of him? I mean, that's just what you should do, because every time you're talking about this guy, you are insinuating the worst. And it also seems like you're a lady who wants to cheat. Now, again, guys, people have been speculating this for a long time on the internet. Like Ayesha Curry is, showing her body off. She's losing all this weight. She's hanging out by herself in Toronto. Like,
she in Toronto because she's like, maybe Drake might notice me. Wow.
Clearly, this lady feels that she's lost out. So she wants to experience certain things. And I believe that because she has a husband like Steph Curry, let's say, for example, that she was to cheat, she's probably betting on the fact that, okay, well, he's not going to leave me if I do cheat. It doesn't matter.
Woo! Well, she might have a point there. You know, they got together, high school sweethearts. Dude probably didn't sign one of them, you know what I mean? You know, one of them things that nobody likes to bring up. But yeah, man, you got to sign a prenuptial no matter what, man, because at the end of the day, yeah, she probably is right. He ain't going to want to leave her. It's cheaper to keep her. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. That's how it be.
But again, the signs are there. If a woman is talking about this sort of stuff kind of out in the open, and especially if you are a high value man, you are a man that makes a lot of money. And again, Kevin Samuels was saying the same thing deeper into that video. She doesn't respect the position that Steph Curry has. While,
hey, y'all let me know in the comments, man. Can you actually be a high value man if the girl that you are currently with does not really respect you or value you? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, now, don't get me wrong. This is no slight to Steph. I mean, Steph is doing what he's supposed to. He being chill. He being tranquil. Like, he's staying out the way. He letting her do her thing. Not really making an issue out of it. But, I mean, what does that do to your psyche? Like, what does that do to you as a person, as an individual? You know what I'm saying? Can you remain a high-value man? Are you a high-value man if the person you're with don't even value you? You know, monetarily, yeah, you're worth something. But I'm just talking about just spiritually and just, you know what I'm saying, on a human level. Just, you know, hey, put it in the comments, man. Let me know. I really want to know what y'all think.
we are so enamored by the fact that he's the greatest shooter of this generation. You know, he's an excellent basketball player. She doesn't look at him in the same vein, and that's the issue. But he looks at her as if she's the best thing since white rice. And so now these rumors have continued to, you know, kind of fester about, you know, both of them, her willingness to stay in the marriage, speculating when the marriage is going to end because most people think it will end soon, and all of that. But nobody ever had any confirmation of infidelity happening until...
Who is the biggest name girl you've ever fucked?
If I lie, do I get sued for defamation?
Who's the most famous girl you ever fucked?
Yes, you know.
Ayesha Curry.
Wow.
Wow.
So Tekashi 6ix9ine goes to Neo's stream and Neo asks him, who is the biggest star that you've ever clapped cheeks with? And he says, well, am I gonna get sued? And, you know, he then goes out to say it's Ayesha Curry.
But here's the thing with 6ix9ine, bro. Remember, he has a reputation for snitching. He has a reputation for dropping dimes. And he has a reputation for, like, saying the truth even when it hurts, bro. So, I mean, even, okay, like, people, you know how 6ix9ine is. He can't stop. He's like one of them dudes. He got a battery on his back that just doesn't stop, bro. You know what I'm saying? He just keep going and going and going and going and going. So now if she tries to come out and she tries to call him out for being a liar, her best bet to this would just to be stay silent. Be quiet, talk that amongst her husband, because if she does come out and make this bigger than it need to be, you know 6ix9ine gonna pull out the receipts. And that's when there's going to be a problem. Because I don't think he's saying this just for clout and for clicks. Because he already got, you know, right now, he got the internet on fire. There's nobody hotter than him on the, you know what I'm saying? There's no bigger interview. Remember when Cat Williams came out, you know, because, yo, truth tellers, they tend to set the internet on fire because the truth hurts. And then when it comes to find out that, oh, damn, everything he's saying is true, or everything they're saying is true, it becomes that much more amplified. And the echo, it just keep going and going and going, bro. It's just never ending, bro. It's never ending. It's never ending. So at the end of the day, her best bet would just to be silence. Silence. Silence is the best way to fight these allegations, bro. Because if you go out there and you put it out there in the public, you know 6ix9ine gonna come back with receipts and drop some receipts. You know what I mean? And I don't think she can sue him if it was true. You know, and at the end of the day, that's where Steph Curry can't get himself out of a sticky situation if he was smart. Because if it comes out that this, what 6ix9ine is saying is true, then she don't get nothing. You know, she gets nothing. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's infidelity. She's done. She cooked. She don't get nothing. But like most men, they're going to sit there and give him a second chance. And then guess what? You really can't use that after. But if the reason why the divorce takes place and the relationship dissolves, the marriage dissolves to the fact of your infidelity because you're trifling ways, then guess what? You get nada. You get zero. Zero.
Now, I don't know if this is true, and it may not be true, but here is what I know, and this is for sure, that Tekashi 6ix9ine, on almost every female that he has dealt with, has some level of receipts that he can prove to say
Facts,
that he did this.
Facts.
And he typically shows somebody like DJ Academics. He typically shows, you know, people in the industry, or he could be trolling. But let's say that he's not trolling and this rumor gets out there, people believe it. Well, then why would they believe this sort of rumor? They would believe this sort of rumor because simply of how she behaves. It's believable. And so this is what I kind of want to tell to women out there, you know, that you are in a relationship with a guy and you can be faithful to the guy. But if you're the person that has an attitude like Ayesha Curry has, and it's bad and it's terrible, and you're humiliating your man in the public, it is so easy for somebody to go out and say, you know what? You as a lady are exhibiting all these qualities. So yes, it's true. You are doing this to Steph. Now you can come out and get in front of it and say it's not true, but people would like to believe this because typically Tekashi 6ix9ine, from what I know, doesn't like really lie on himself, but you've put it out there by how you acted. And so now everybody can go and say, oh, she's cheating on her husband, and he can get mad about it and like, yo, my wife isn't cheating on me. Stop the show, although he wouldn't know.
Woo! Woo! Oh yeah. And then also, if you think about it too, like women like this, they get a little turned on when somebody's vocal and doesn't really take their shit. They get a little turned on, man. They get a little moist in the panties, if you know what I'm saying. When there's a guy that, you know, because Stephon Curry, and I mean, she obviously has a type. She likes light skin. She likes mixed light skin motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Because 6ix9ine, he very vocal. Seems like Stephon Curry is very tranquil. He wants his peace. 6ix9ine, a New Yorker that's really loud, Latino, very, you know, loud, aggressive with the way he speaks. And he ain't had none of that. You know what I'm saying? He ain't having it like that. He ain't gonna take that type of stuff just like, all right, and be silent. He can't. He don't know how to. It's not in his nature. And females like this, they end up falling for guys like that, man. It just happens to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at me and my partner. She's very tranquil, smooth, easygoing. I'm very loud, obnoxious. Everybody used to get on me because they say I talk over her, you know. But at the end of the day, her attraction to me was that very thing. Is I'm very loud. I put my foot down. I express myself. You know, there's not really, there's no splicing hairs here. You know what I'm saying? I either say what I feel and I say it how, I say it how I say it. It just comes out, word vomit. You know what I mean? But at least she knows I say what I mean. And women do like that. You know what I mean? You can't have somebody that's quiet be with somebody quiet, you know, and it's hard to be, you know, somebody that's vocal, be with somebody that's vocal. But what happens there is the dynamic shifts when you got somebody that's more vocal than you are and that's willing to basically put their foot down. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is, man. I don't make the rules, man. I don't make the rules. I'm just telling y'all how it go, man. I'm putting y'all on the game, you heard?
But if you didn't want people to even believe that, then why do you act the way you do? All that you had to do was act like a lady and be respectful to your husband and to not drag or dog him. And then if somebody were to say this, you slept with a Steph Curry's wife, hey, we would easily be able to shoot that down. Like, what? Like, no, there's no way that she did that he's lying. And let me tell you this, he wouldn't even try it either, because people just wouldn't believe him, and he know it wouldn't be true. And let's say, for example, it was true, he'd had to show undeniable evidence. Now, in this case, we're most likely not going to get undeniable evidence, and he could get sued if it's false. But the reality is that she's been acting like this the whole entire time. And so people are going to have a right to go and run with this particular story, although I can't verify the validity of it. Now, if it is true, this is where it's going to be crazy. You see, people tend to like opposites of what they already have. Let's look at Ayesha Curry, for example. If this were true, fundamentally, it would prove something, that she wants the provider guy, who is Steph Curry. He's safe. He's an NBA All-Star. He's a man that's a Christian, all of this stuff. A man that checks all the boxes, pays the bills, but a man that you may not find exciting, a man that you feel is holding you back. He's giving you a good soft life, but obviously there's something that you could do in the streets. So you're missing that part of the streets. Okay? Now, if that woman goes out and gets a dude that's completely different from the man that you are, if she's having a sex relationship with him, then it makes sense.
And it's totally possible. You know what I'm saying? They want that shiny new toy. You know what I mean? They want that fast car. You know what I'm saying? Living a fast life with fast cars. People really don't know who they are, man. I'm telling you, man. It just get like that. It get like that. She wants some excitement in her life. And Steph is just like such a cool dude, relaxed dude. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, there's only so much until you get sick of it, you know, and until you get bored with what you have. I mean, unless you're happy with what you have and you're appreciative to what you have, which a lot of people are. And I'm not saying that she's not, but it seems like she's not. Because I really don't know the situation. I'm not really up on her. I just seen some clips, and to me, it doesn't seem like she appreciates what she has. Seems like she's bored with her life. It seems like, you know, she's been living on easy streaks, so she's entitled, and she just, you know, she wants a little excitement, and that's what it is. And she holds so much resentment over, you know, his fame and, you know, his, you know, the way his name is, you know, just it's out front and center. And when they talk about her, they really don't. She spoke about as his wife, Steph Curry's wife, not, you know. Hey, it is what it is, man. I don't make the rules, like I said.
It makes a whole lot of sense why she would mess with a guy like Tekashi 6ix9ine, because Tekashi 6ix9ine is all about vibes. He's completely different than Steph. He probably is exciting to her, and yes, that's what she needed to, you know, get her, you know what, wet and all of that stuff.
Got him!
And ultimately, the rumor is out there, and again, it could be fake. But when you're Ayesha Curry and you've been making all of these problems for yourself and for your husband, then yeah, I mean, people are likely gonna believe it, and the reason why they're going to believe it, it's your fault.
Woo! Yo, I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's false. I'm just saying, hey, Steph, if this is true, your get back would be change your jersey number to 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine, man. 6ix9ine. I'm telling you, bro. You want to troll, you want to get her back, man, you do that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? 6ix9ine is the person he is. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know he don't give a fuck. And Steph Curry, you know, he's a wholesome, the guy next door. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like a lot of women's dreams. Actually, Steph Curry is what a lot of women claim they want until they have it. Until they have it. They want a guy that listens. They want a guy that's attentive. They want a guy that's intuitive. And then guess what? When they have it, like I said, with women, man, it's hard to please them, man. They got curly hair. They want straight hair. You know what I mean? They got black hair. They want blonde hair. They got brown eyes, they want blue eyes. They got blue eyes, they want brown eyes. They got no lips, they want some lips. They got no hips, they want some dip. You know, it just be like that. With women, it's just like you can never make them happy sometimes, man. Just some of them you can't make happy, you know? And, you know, fortunate enough for me, fortunate enough for yours truly, my girl happy. My girl happy. You know what I mean? I piss her off and annoy her every day. But, hey, it's just to make things interesting. That being said, let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm out.